over there. You went up to him, didn't you?
As far as just directing the film, it's probably about the hardest gig I've ever done in my life. And it wasn't as big as Braveheart with all the horses and people and stuff, but there were more precise things that had to happen in it. Every sequence was definitely difficult to get, and difficult to get the way you wanted to get it so that you really experienced it, so you felt like you were in the middle of it.
The actors and everybody on the film was being motivated to put everything that they had, you know, and their best work on the screen.
He's wonderful with the actors. The greatest experience was to get to see him working with the actors because he's so good at drawing out of them, because of being an actor himself. He was really great at knowing how to deal with them to get what he needed in terms of a performance.
You know, but stand up first, like a rabbit that got shot. You ever seen that?
They trust him. I think it's about trust. A lot of actors resist directors because they're probably better actors than the directors are. In Mel's case, you know, he's at least on par with any of them, I dare say.
Mr. Gibson knows exactly what he wants, but at the same time he's an actor, and a wonderful actor, and he loves and he respects actors. He asked us, he pushed us to express ourselves, to be creative.
He doesn't talk a lot, Mel. He's more, he moves a lot. It's like if he want to tell you how to do things more with his body, the way how he moves, than the way how he talks. There is this thing that is almost animal about him, and instinctive, which is very interesting.
When he's directing and he's watching the video monitor, and he'll be doing the action. He'll be even saying the lines sometimes, and the facial expressions, and he'll move it back and forth. And you almost want to sit him down and tie him to the chair because it gets distracting. You know, he's moving and he's making noise while he's doing it too. So sound guys are going crazy, and he really gets sucked right into the moment, as if he's part of that whole scene that he's directing. And it's unique. I've never really seen anyone do that.
I was lucky to have Steve McAvity there, who was like, the guy's amazing. He doesn't know how to quit, you know. Sometimes I want to slap him. I said, why don't you just quit? You know, but he doesn't know how to quit. He's really dogged. So he was really good to have there. He's always a good guy. And a lateral thinker as well. If you're banging your head up against a wall, he'll say, hey, why don't you just walk around the wall? And you go, oh, no, thanks, Steve. I hadn't thought of that, you know. I mean, he just thinks in an oblique way that's kind of, it just didn't occur to you because you're too focused on what you're doing. So he's able to sort of like pull you up and go, hey, you know, great. He was a really valuable asset, really put himself out there, gave everything he had. The guy lost 50 pounds during production. He was like a walking skeleton by the end of it, but he was like a ball of energy. He was just going on hard.
I got an idea. Why don't we let me out now?
Nobody understands me. I need a translator. Oh, you were.
Di non andare indietro, Jim, se no se...
Molto energy. Now we have these signs. Do you see these signs?
Vedete questi cartelli che abbiamo qua giù, che abbiamo fatto?
All right. Okay, do that one.
Fate questo, fate moglio, fate moglio.
Hey, funny thing happened to me on the way to the war there.
I mean, you're working in another country with people who speak another language, and you have that step. You're missing that step of communication, instant communication. You've got to depend on interpreters and stuff like that. So it's kind of frustrating. Everything takes a little longer.
Don't use the same gestures all the time.
E non fate lo stesso gesto così continuo.
No repetitive gestures. Use different gestures.
Fate gesti diversi.
And then sometimes it was not worthwhile trying to even explain what you really meant. You had to do something simpler that would approximate that. Some things are too intangible almost to grasp. So you just say, okay, everybody, think happy thoughts, or, you know, whatever it is that you can juxtapose against something else to emotionally get the right kind of level.
You're all looking here.
State tutti guardando verso di qua.
34.
34.
36, 37, 38.
I think it was more my problem than anything else. I mean, people on the continent over there are used to somebody next to them speaking another language, so they developed some kind of other sense that understands. And in many cases, I would be saying something in English, and they would just look at the translator and go, no, 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 I get it. And not knowing English, but they get it. I must have been doing something, communicating in some other way, or they're just more attuned in Europe to be able to understand someone without necessarily understanding all the verbiage.
I begin to turn into Satan in 5 minutes.
I'd just get cranky while I was out there and something didn't work. I'd be like, "Arr," you know. But when I did growl, I'd always apologize afterwards because you don't want to mess with the Italian film crew. They're helping you. They've all got an Uncle Giorgio who'll come and fix you. Yeah.
You spend, almost 5 months kind of making a film, and you're not sure whether it's going to work. And you think, am I the biggest idiot in the world? Biting your fingernails at night thinking, I'm doing everything wrong. And those are the little demons coming into you saying, you're not doing this right. You're going to fail. You'll never make it. You know, the little voices.
I think that's some of my favorite stuff. Just the hand going across and kicking up the dust with all those guys out of focus. I didn't know if I'd be able to pull it off, but when I saw it finally on the dailies, I was like, all right, you know. You always think, is this going to work? And then when it does, you think, well, I guess maybe I know what I'm doing. I don't know.